Good to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
As always.
Somewhere else in pasture again.
Yeah, it is, eh? It's a beautiful place, though.
It is, it's beautiful. West Auckland's pretty amazing.
Yeah. All right, so give us the update. What's going on? We still need help, don't we?
We do. So I got a bit excited actually, and I think people misrepresented where we were at with our fundraising. So we are going to court, which is amazing, and want to thank everybody for that because
Thanks, guys.
It is incredible. Community funded, the majority very small donations, and that's just representative of how many people actually believe in what we're doing, which is incredible. People who really don't have much and who are still giving to this cause is actually something that's really humbling but encouraging at the same time, because it just shows us that so many people don't know about us as well and what we're doing still because of the reach issue in terms of being censored. So the fact that we've got so much support with actually quite a small community at this particular point in time is just amazing. But yeah, I did get overexcited. I did kind of go, yay, we're going to court. We are going to court, and yay for that. But that doesn't mean all the costs are actually paid at this point, because we do know what it's going to cost us, and we haven't reached that benchmark yet.
Yeah. So what's the total and how much we have?
Okay, so we're about 3/4 of the way there. I don't want to put numbers on it anymore because we still have costs coming in, because obviously we're replying. So we've got a ballpark, but we need to be careful that we don't sort of like underestimate. But yeah, it's about $250,000, which is pretty. It sounds to the average person like a huge amount, and to me it does sound like a huge amount. But you need to also put that in perspective. The Australian case is $750,000.
Wow.
So, and that's Australian dollars. Little old Kiwis aren't, we're not as worth as much as Australian dollars. So yeah, it's a really good way to sort of explain how little we are actually using in terms of what we could be. I mean, Katie's time alone, she's probably her time is probably about $500,000 worth of time.
Wow.
It's just incredible, and she's been able to do that for next to nothing. So yeah, we're very humbled by the discounts, the pro bono, the help that we've had, capping on prices, and things, because we do need to remember that all the professionals that are doing this, most of them have been really hurt by speaking out, particularly the medical professionals and whatnot, and you get a stigma. So professionally, it's not always a good thing. You get a lot of flack for doing what we're doing, because you get accused of disinformation or misinformation. I never know which term to use. Yeah.
Neither of them, because it's conspiracy theorists out there.
I know,
and that was my next question, obviously with the conspiracy theorists and the trolls and whatever in between there, these costs just for the court alone, or is for the lawyers, or like how?
It's everything.
It's everything.
The whole lot.
Yeah.
And that's what people need to remember. I mean, this is filing costs. This is literally every cost encapsulated in that $250,000, and we are 3/4 of the way there, which is just incredible. But it is us that's going to wear that, and I am a single mother with nothing other than I do this for free. So, and when I say nothing, I mean, that's not fair to say that, because that's a comparison to, somebody living on the streets, and I'm not going to state that. But what I mean is I do not have the funds to cover a court case going to the High Court. And so, obviously personally, that's what we've taken the risk with, is that we would be personally liable.
Cool. We're not cool, but
not cool. So you can imagine my anxiety levels are relatively high when fundraising for this.
100%.
Yeah.
And so the case is on Monday the 27th and Tuesday the 28th.
Yeah.
And so obviously if they can't supply financially, they can come and show their support in Wellington, can't they? And turn up.
They could. I think the biggest help right now is actually the sharing on social media. It's actually awareness. It's actually having the discussions, joining our social media groups, spreading the information, and not disinformation, information about the case, because that is the difficulty. I mean, the mainstream media is just not covering us. We haven't heard a hint, and they have been provided all the information. They know exactly what we're doing, and it is public interest, so they do have a responsibility, and they may end up dealing with it right on the day. But we've had no applications, as far as we know, to the court for media to even be present. which is actually slightly concerning
It
and
is.
alarming, because this is a huge case. And I think if media want to defend their status of being independent and unbiased, then they ought to be there, because when you're not present and you know about something of this magnitude and this kind of importance, when you're talking about the safety of children, regardless of what your personal beliefs is, on what side you sit on, you ought to be there covering this particular issue, because clearly there's something behind it. We are in High Court. You know, and New Zealanders believe in this, so therefore they have a responsibility to speak to this. So yeah, let's hope. I know that they're probably not giving us any media to start with, because well, it would help our funding.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I think the thing is that, you know, our experience has been that the majority of, well, everyone I've actually personally spoken to is behind the investigation into this, whether they have chosen to use this product or not. If you raise issues and questions, people want answers. And we've got the right as New Zealanders to get those answers. And this is what this court case is all about. It's not anti anything, it's not conspiracy, it is purely seeking truth and evidence, and we have asked and we have not been provided it.
No. Well, the media's completely forgotten about the Broadcasting Act. It has to show that balance between the two sides of anything. So I forgot what the actual statement is, but it's actually there encoded. So,
but we've done all sorts of things. We've breached so many different, when I say we, not us, hopefully, not that we're aware of. But, you know, we are using children to promote things. We are now watching, I mean, if people watched the clip, and it was actually Sesh that put it out originally, and I had seen it, but I managed to grab it because of that helpful video, thanks Sesh. You know, Sesame Street promoting it to children. Like, that was just unbelievable. But not only that, our own government and media and advertising, to me, are breaching so many different things when they are actually promoting giving a product to a child, a treatment, to a medical treatment, a drug to a child, a gene altering therapy to a child to promote the well-being and health of others. Now, that is ethically and morally wrong. It's unlawful. It is part of the premise behind the family court. You don't do that. You know, we are there to protect children. Children have more human rights than we do as adults, and yet somewhere along the line this has been completely disregarded, and we are suddenly allowed to put pressure on children to do something to protect their grandparents or their whānau, and that is just abhorrent to me.
Especially being part of the biggest human medical experiment in the world. Well, still on trial. Still on trial. Well,
the thing is that one of the things that we would like remedied is this constant portrayal of safe and effective, because the thing is we have actually seen published that this particular vaccine, and I use that word simply because that's how it was published, not because I actually believe it is a vaccine, and we know that the definition of vaccine was changed to be able to incorporate this product into it. But this vaccine has been published to have undergone the same rigorous trials and research that every other vaccine has undergone. That is false. Like, you legally, legitimately cannot say that. Yet the WHO, the World Health Organization, is promoting that. So is our government. So many other governments around the world are doing this. And if you don't know where to research, you don't know where to look, and you are trusting in that, then that sounds like a really secure place to be, you know, putting your faith. Yeah, my government says it's safe and effective. Why would I question that? And that's how it should be. We should be able to have that kind of faith.
Totally.
And it is...
History says otherwise.
Unfortunately, but particularly in the last 2 years, we have seen some things going on that raise really big ethical and moral and legal questions. And
stings to me. Can smell it from a mile away.
There's definitely little rats crawling around somewhere, and it is alarming, and I do understand that that's really frightening for some people who who really need to have that solidity in their, in their government and their faith in that government. And I understand that, and I can understand why people don't want to look into it. They want to believe, and don't we all? I mean, I don't want to be standing here having this in this situation. Certainly don't want to be, no offence, talking out publicly. But I enjoy talking to you, but not
Vice versa.
necessarily in front of so many people. But yeah, we have to, and it's not a choice that we have, because if we want to retain that faith, then we have to remind the government and the media that that's what we demand. That transparency is so incredibly important, and that they work for us.
Totally.
And I mean, there are, I believe, when you become accredited media, you sign some form of oath, and I don't know what it is, but it is an oath to the people to report an unbiased opinion or fact, at least. Yeah. And we're not seeing that.
No. Going back to that Broadcasting Act I mentioned earlier as well. So that's I think it's one of the first actual sections stating that they have to show that counterbalance of both sides. So
yeah, and it's scary because we're seeing that in the medical system. We're seeing doctors being censored. We're seeing scientists being censored. We're seeing, social media, our own right to debate and discuss and question is being censored. I think the biggest thing is, it's like, a lot of the doctors out there are saying they wouldn't have to push this hard if it truly was safe. We'd all be lining up going, yep, cool. But it's not just the safety, it's the necessity.
Yes.
I mean, we're at a situation now. Are we really in a state of emergency?
Yeah.
Because it sure as hell doesn't feel like it. I mean, I've had COVID.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty good. Like, my child's had COVID. Just about everybody I know's had COVID now. And we're fine. I'm sure there's people out there with, issues that it is a risk to, and I'm not going to downplay that. And also, we're not taking that right away from people. There is a product available for people. They can go to their doctor, they can get a prescription, they can discuss the safety, they can use their own informed consent, and they can gain this product if they so choose.
Exactly.
Does that mean that we push it on the public? Does that mean that we are peer pressured, mandated? And obviously we are only talking about the children because that is our focus. Yeah. But children were being affected by mandates. 12 to 15-year-olds are still children in my book, and they were affected. And some children were suicidal. I know of children that took their lives over lockdown and things like that. And this is not okay. And we can't sit by and allow younger children to be peer pressured into something. We cannot allow this situation to increase to where it's on a schedule. It is, kids have to have vax passports to go into their sports and all the rest of it. That can't happen. But not only that, we cannot let our babies start to be injected because there is zero risk of COVID for them. There is no necessity to give any kind of medication to a child, particularly a baby, when it is unnecessary. And we know that they're starting to jab over in the US, and I don't know when the date is. There's debate over that. We don't seem to be getting a clear message, because some are saying that it's already happening, some are saying it's going to happen within the week. I don't know what the date is, but it's going to happen. And our media are now starting to speak to it. And we know from past history, as soon as we start seeing it in our media, it's like we're slowly sort of eased into the idea and the necessity that we should also follow suit. And this particular case will address that. I think boosters have been approved for the 5 to 11-year-olds. It's not yet said that we need them here. In fact, the MedSafe still say that children seem to react well to the first 2. I'm not quite sure we're going to catch that up, but I'm sure it's going to happen. And so this case has such a huge roll-on effect. We deal with this case and we highlight the questions that aren't being answered and the issues that we found, the lack of evidence behind how it was rolled out, why it was rolled out, the necessity of its rollout. Then we save more children. And we have saved children, and that's something I'm really, really proud to say, because we also advocate for family court cases. And we know of 3 families now who have settled out of court because the side or the parent that wanted this particular product read the evidence that we helped to provide through some of our experts, and they decided against this product for their child. And so those children are going to remain unvaccinated for this product. And that's incredible to us. You know, that's the power behind the evidence that we provide. And our own QC has, you know, drawn a line in the sand. His first 2 are done and dusted, but there's no boosters for him.
Yeah.
And that's the power of the evidence, you know. We're not mucking around. Our 9 experts are incredible. And the evidence from the Crown is underwhelming. And I'm conservative when I say that.
I can believe so. Well, no, it's good to hear that, you know, we're almost there, and yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, definitely.
And talking to you all throughout the case as much as I can.
Yeah.
Obviously, not being a lawyer, I have to be very careful what I say.
Sure.
I'm not quite sure where my line is sometimes. You
Yeah,
know, so I
yeah.
tend to be very cautious.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really excited to hear our legal team, because I have huge faith in them, in the sense that they are fantastic individuals, that they are incredible professionals, and the weight that they hold is amazing. But yeah, I sort of almost, I don't know, I hesitate to say it, but I almost feel sorry for the Crown trying to defend this in a way, because it's very difficult to defend. It doesn't necessarily mean that we can predict an outcome, but honestly, the evidence, good luck to them.
Yeah, that's it. Good luck, and we'll keep you updated there. I'll be doing lives down there on both days, when you're coming in and now, what you're doing. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, and we still do need donations, please.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody who has donated, but sharing and donations, we're doing it for everybody. We're doing it even for the people who don't want us to do it, because there are things they don't know yet that they really need to know to have made that informed decision, because what we are told is informed consent, or the information that is being provided to us, is not the entire picture. And I think it's really important that we stand up and we give them that information, whether they think they want it or not. And so this will be public record regardless of the outcome, and that information will be made public. It's things that our government did not want to answer us on. We tried to gain the answers prior to this court case, and we also know that the FDA wanted to keep a lot of things quiet about the pharmaceutical company too, and we know what that revealed. Well, those of you who have looked into it do, and we'll speak to some of those things as well. I mean, we have, I don't know, 9 pages, like literally hundreds and hundreds of side effects and whatnot that have been revealed, plus so copious amounts of information, and it's alarming. It's really alarming, and it needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
So yeah, see you, Wellington.
Awesome.